episode of Poltekkes Bright. I'm your host, Manani Landari from Environmental Health Department. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with wonderful Miss Po and Miss Ichita from Charles Darwin University. Thank you for joining us in this podcast. And maybe for start the podcast, I will ask the first question. When you arrive in Bali, what kind of activity that you like in here? Maybe Miss Po can answer the question.
Okay, thank you for the great question. All the experiences have been amazing to me in different ways. So to pick one would be so very difficult, but I would pick one. For me, it's when I'm watching and seeing students from both universities working together. For example, when we went to the Puskesma Sukawati 1 and Sukawati 2, seeing all of us coming together, asking each other questions, and then coming back yesterday doing simulation activities. Those discussions to me are so powerful because they help us all learn how we do midwifery and also share how we can improve our midwifery care between both countries. So that would be my two favorite ones if I was to choose the first. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Po. Maybe Ms. Ichita can tell us what is the favorite activity in Bali.
I think I would agree with them more. It would be injustice of me to name anyone because everything was so amazing and very unique to what we get to experience back home in Australia. But if I was to choose one, I really enjoyed working with different units of the Poltekkes University at the Hoshiandu, where the teams from nutrition, environmental health, dietetics, along with the midwifery department, they all came together and we were able to share our experiences and work together for the health promotion of babies and moms. So that was really great for me.
Alright, thank you, Miss.
Okay, so that is your favorite part. So I want to ask about what is your challenge? What challenge have you faced during this trip? Like this 2 weeks trip, right? It's 2 weeks. Okay, yeah. Maybe start with Miss Po.
Okay, I think the challenge is really, I'll say they're obvious. When you first get here, it's all exciting, but remembering that we've left family back home and we are here and, when you first come here, the food is amazing, but you start missing your food from back home after 2 weeks, if I have to be honest. And also the other thing, I think, learning, not being able to speak the language, I think I would say would be the, greatest challenge that I see, because then it takes away from having those open conversations where we can really understand each other. But saying that again, being grateful that you came along with us and you did all the interpretation for us and it helped us to understand and navigate the culture. So to me, those will be the two big things, missing home, missing family, missing the familiar environment, and also the communication side of things. Thank you.
So you're being grateful because you're like, yeah. Okay, so what about Miss Ichita?
Definitely the cultural difference because when we come with our students here, the team that we come with, they're all from different states. Sometimes we haven't met each other just before coming here. We have not worked with each other. So it is knowing them while knowing you guys, different students, and for Boydembo and I, we're navigating 3 different cultures. When we come here, it's our own culture, we've got Australian culture, and then we have Indonesian culture. So it can be sometimes a difficult space or rather a challenging space, not difficult. And it's just a space for growth for all of us.
Wow. Okay, my next question is, when you arrived in Bali for 2 weeks, this past 2 weeks, what is your best experience here like for the past 2 weeks?
Okay. I think my best experience I'll owe it to each. I think what I'll do, I'll move away from the learning space and make it come to this space of adventure. I've come here, I think, for work. This was my 5th or 6th time. I always come here and just do work, because I'm a work person. But Ish was able to pull me this time and be like, hey, Empo, we are going out. We are going to do different things in Bali. You can't just come here and do work. So, took me to the rice paddies, and, that was a great experience. So I owe it to you, Ish. Thank you.
How about Miss Ish? Do you have any best experience during Bali?
I love working with students. So when I get to work with different, and all of us think differently. So we're 5 people sitting at this table, and we have different thought process. For me, it's being able to navigate through everyone's experiences, past lives, and coming together and having a great adventure together. So yes, that's great for me.
Alright, based on your experience to come to Bali to learn about the medicine method of Bali medicine or Indonesian medicine, can you compare the method of Bali medicine and Australian medicine? Is it same or have a difference? Maybe from Ms. Jita?
We do have a lot of differences, and I would say the Bali complementary services that are offered here in Indonesia, we in Australia do not offer them, I wouldn't say at all, but not greatly. And that is a space where we need to learn more. For example, acupressure, acupuncture, that the women get to experience here, and the endorphin, the oxytocin massages while they're pregnant and also during labor. That is a space for growth for us. And it is actually great to see in Australia we do use a lot of pharmacological methods, interventions. We use a lot of medications for pain relief, where here we see women not using a lot of medications when they giving birth to their babies. So that's a space where we can explore further and see what we can do better in Australia, or impart our knowledge to here in Indonesia. So it's a space for more exploration.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Jita. Maybe Ms. Bo can tell us.
Okay, good to know. That's a great question. But I think I'll start by saying, we are all here, yes, different countries, different ways of doing things, but really, if we look into it, we are all here for one purpose only, to make things better, to care for mothers and babies and their families with the best that we have and to the best of our abilities. So I think that's something important that we have to remind ourselves, that even if we come from those different spaces, the most important thing is not one thing. But then if we're to look at differences and similarities, also the similarities are, like I've already said, the fundamental thing for me is caring for mothers and babies. Childbirth is childbirth, giving power to the woman, to me, I think is important, to help her and support her to do birth to the best of her ability. But when it comes to the differences, like Isha's already said, I think, complementary care to me, I think is something that we really learned a lot, and something that we have to look into implementing, because you do it in midwifery education, it's there, it's visible, and then when you watch, the practice is visible as well, so something that we are going to learn about. But then the other differences that we acknowledge are the guidelines and the resources that we have, and also access to research and information might be, maybe in the research space, we have more, so we might, look into and compare the two and look, because we might be, having that research makes us in Australia do things totally differently because of that access. So I think really important things, the differences are resources, guidelines, and access to research.
Alright, thank you, Ms. Bo. Maybe there's a question here.
Okay, I want to ask about your opinion about you've been here like for 2 weeks. What improvement could be made in midwifery here in Bali or midwifery practices here?
That's an interesting question, and again, a space that we have to navigate respectfully, I think. But looking at it, we've had different experiences. Like we went to Ibu, this place, we went to Kumisehan, and then we've seen the experience, the hospital experience. Maybe for us all, though I'm not saying just you, but I think just a reminder for us all as midwives that if we are working in those spaces, is it possible to put the woman at the center so that we provide that holistic, woman-centered care? Because I feel like sometimes as midwives, it's so easy for us to go for the skills, and then we end up forgetting the woman's experience. Yes, at the end of the day, we do want, healthy mothers and healthy babies, whatever that means, but the experience of the woman should be also at the center of what we do. So I would be saying, let's really together as midwives, not just you, just to make sure that at the end of the day, we respect the woman, we provide that holistic woman-centered care, so that, we don't take the power from the woman, because I feel like sometimes as practitioners, it's so easy to do that. To end up in a space where women don't trust themselves, they start trusting us. What can we do to help them use that instinct that we all have as mothers to better our babies? So I think that would be one thing that I encourage us all as midwives to think about.
Wow. Good baby.
Okay, my final question. Do you have any final impressions or words about experience in Bali and the midwifery practice on our broadcast today?
I would say, can you repeat that question?
The question is, do you have any final impressions or words about your experience in Bali and the midwifery practice here on our broadcast?
I would say my impressions of being here for the last 2 weeks have been so different. Every single day was a very, very unique day. We were presented with different scenarios, different locations, and we've seen the primary health care up to the tertiary level of care. And there are so many vast differences in all the different types of care that has been provided here. And I'm really grateful for that experience, and I'm really grateful for each and every one who's helped us navigate this experience here, welcoming us to your home. And I always say this, it's to your home. It can be your university, but it is still a place where you study, and it's a place where you worship, so that's your home. And I am just very, very grateful for everything that you have provided us with, and all the love, all the smiles, beautiful smiles, all the treats, all the food. It has just been absolutely grateful, like very, very grateful.
Okay, maybe that's all from today's session, and thank you for sharing our wonderful Miss Fo and Mrs. Ishita, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. Thank you so much.